Hello and welcome to a CMS Forex daily video recap. I'm your fundamental market analyst, Nick Nassad. Today is Wednesday, July 21st, 2010. Let's first start off with the euro-dollar pair, which overnight ticked as high as 1.2912 in overnight trading, but then sold off as investors reassessed the common currency's recent rally and nursed concerns about the stress tests of European banks. The results of the tests are due Friday and carry considerable risks for the euro. Too positive of a result will make investors wonder whether the tests were rigorous enough. On the other hand, weak results will raise doubts about the European Union's ability to cope with the crisis. Also, we had a discouraging auction of Portuguese 12-month treasury bills, which had knocked the common currency lower in European trading. In the New York session, especially in the afternoon, we had Fed Chairman Bernanke's testimony, and following that, the euro-dollar moved further in favor of the greenback, testing the 1.2730 area. The pound-dollar pair had a volatile period after the release of the Bank of England meeting minutes around this time, but the greenback wound up getting the better of the two throughout the New York morning trading as it gained and hit a low, and the pair hit a low of 1.5120 in the wake of Bernanke's comments. In the Bank of England meeting minutes, policymakers considered expanding stimulus this month after the economic outlook deteriorated a little, overruling Andrew Sentence's repeated call for an interest rate increase. The committee considered arguments in favor of a modest easing in the stance of monetary policy. It also said that the softening in the medium-term outlook for GDP growth over recent months would put further downward pressure on inflation once the impact of temporary factors had waned. The minutes, therefore, were regarded as dovish, and that put downward pressure on the pound. Turning to the U.S., in testimony before Congress, Fed Chairman Bernanke called the U.S. outlook unusually uncertain and noted that the central bank is prepared to take action if needed. His economic outlook sees lower than expected inflation and at best a slow pace of falling unemployment levels. He notes financial conditions are hindering growth and expects interest rates to stay low for an extended period of time. That echoed the content of the June Federal Open Market Committee minutes. He also said that the Fed is continuing to think of ways to shrink its portfolio, and any asset sales will come gradually. Bernanke's comments to Congress were largely as expected, but some may be a bit taken aback by his comments on shrinking the balance sheet, which doesn't suggest much central bank appetite to provide additional stimulus to a troubled economy. In other words, this statement reads like the Fed chairman is more concerned about draining liquidity as opposed to providing further stimulus. And with investors unconvinced in the recovery, U.S. stocks took this as a too hawkish statement. The main three U.S. indexes fell more than 1%, and risk aversion increased during the speech, which helped to boost the U.S. dollar. Taking a look at the U.S. dollar-Canadian dollar pair, we saw that overnight it had extended its move in favor of the Canadian dollar as we approached the 1.0350 level before finding support. That was a 78.6% retracement of our rally in favor of the greenback from 1.0285 to 1.0580. As I mentioned, U.S. stocks did fall and oil prices fell as well, which increased risk aversion and hurt commodity currencies such as the Canadian dollar. As of 3 p.m., we see the pair breaching the 1.05 level, which was our support in Monday and part of Tuesday's session, and if the greenback continues to extend its gains, it could test our highs for the week around the 1.0580 area. Taking a look at another commodity currency pair, the Australian dollar US dollar. Here too, we see that the Australian dollar had been gaining throughout this week, testing its highs from last week around 0.8850. But in the wake of Fed Chairman Bernanke's comments, we saw the pair move strongly in favor of the greenback, now testing the 38.2% retracement of its rally for this week, as well as the 200 period and 50 period moving averages at around the 0.8760 level. So now let's take a look at the upcoming fundamental docket. Tonight, Australia posts its NAB quarterly business confidence, while overnight, Japan releases its all-industrial activity index. We get preliminary data from Germany and the Eurozone on manufacturing and services PMIs for July. The UK releases its retail sales, and we also get the Eurozone industrial new orders release. Tomorrow in the North American session, we start with U.S. jobless claims. Fed Chairman Bernanke returns for his second day of testimony at 9:30. At 10, we get 3 releases: existing home sales, a measure of housing prices, and the Conference Board leading index. At 10:30, the Bank of Canada posts its quarterly monetary policy report, which it will follow with a press conference at 11:15. So a rather busy day for fundamentals in tomorrow's global session. And that will do it for today's daily video recap. For more news, videos, and analysis, please visit our site, cmsfx.com. I want to thank you for watching and wish you good trading.